Now at 5 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, police in Dallas are investigating a fatal vehicle crash that family members say started over an argument. And the owner of a taco shop in Houston has been cleared of all charges after the fatal shooting of an armed robber. We hear from his attorney next. And tomorrow marks the 3rd anniversary of the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We had some nice rain overnight. All that rain is gone just in time for the weekend, so you've got a pretty good looking weekend. We'll talk about it and look at the next rain opportunity. All that coming up.
Plus, over 30 dogs have been rescued in Montgomery County after a viral video. Now police are investigating to see if this is a case of animal cruelty. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. You may have smelled a strong odor yesterday in Victoria County. That's due in part to a petroleum spill at the Port of Victoria. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick is in the studio with more information on this chemical spill.
That's right, Karina. Shamrock Products LLC accidentally released about 300 barrels of crude substance in the Port of Victoria. The substance was made up of a crude oil and diesel mixture with elevated sulfur content. First reports of the odor came from the southwest region of the county. The Victoria Office of Emergency Management, along with area response agencies, have opened an investigation into the spill. They have not detected any components above levels of concern at this time. Karina, back to you.
Adarius, thank you. Here's your beer poll this afternoon. You can scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, are you satisfied with how the Victoria Office of Emergency Management responded to the chemical spill yesterday? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. Now, Dallas police are investigating a Thursday morning SUV crash that killed one boy and left 3 others hurt. They believe the driver of the vehicle was a 12-year-old boy. Family members said an argument happened between the driver and one of the passengers who grabbed the steering wheel. That vehicle then smashed into a tree. Witnesses and police said they were speeding, but there's no word on why children had been in the car, where they were headed, or how a 12-year-old got access to the car in the first place. Hundreds of migrants continue to arrive in New Jersey on buses they boarded in Texas, the latest group being dropped off Thursday. This morning, another bus spilled into New Jersey as families deboarded with blankets in hand, several being from Ecuador and Colombia. Since December 30th, 26 buses in all have delivered migrants to train stations in different parts of New Jersey. New York Mayor Eric Adams established new rules that buses can only drop off on weekdays between 8:30 and noon. But these drivers are stopping short before crossing the Hudson River. More buses are expected to arrive in New Jersey to avoid New York's restrictions. And let's take a quick pause on the news and go to your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. We had some really good rain last night. You probably missed most of it because by morning it all cleared up and moved away. It is all pretty much long gone. So we had probably over 1.5 inches, almost 2 in some spots. Now tomorrow, looking good all the way through Sunday. But Monday is our next rain system, and we'll be talking about that and taking a good look at it coming up in a moment. Back to you, Karina.
Mac, thank you. A man who shot and killed an armed robber at a Houston taco shop will not face charges. A grand jury declined to charge the 46-year-old who actually went viral on social media after a video of the shooting circulated last year.
The danger at the time was real, and he acted accordingly.
For almost a year, attorney Juan L. Guerra Jr. says his client, the Taqueria shooter who stopped a violent robbery, has anxiously awaited his fate. The dramatic shooting caught on video happened January 5th, 2023. 2 days shy of a year, a grand jury cleared him. 12
people of Harris County concluded what all of us should conclude, that it was a justifiable homicide.
Guerra says the 46-year-old has lived in fear of retaliation.
That's excessive.
Community activists called him a vigilante and demanded a murder charge.
So let me tell you something very compelling.
But what happened,
you've seen the video, everybody's seen the video.
Guerra says was all about saving lives, and one life in particular.
That young man sitting across from him, that is his best friend's son. He said something very resounding to me. He said, Mr. Guerra, I was not going to have a conversation with my best friend about his son being murdered because I did not act.
Surveillance video showed the armed robber, identified by Houston police as Eric Eugene Washington, robbing customers at gunpoint inside the Ranchito No. 4 on South Gessner. Once his back was turned, that's when Guerra's client took out his gun and fired. Afterward, the shooter returned what was stolen and then realized Washington's gun was fake.
He was upset, visibly upset, that, this young man lost his life over a fake gun. But, it doesn't matter in Texas whether the gun is fake or not.
Guerra says his client remains traumatized. He calls the ordeal tragic, but is grateful the restaurant had cameras, because without them...
I think we'd probably be trying this case, to be honest with you.
Jessica Willie, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Saturday is the third anniversary of the January 6th Capitol attack. President Trump then urged his followers to march to the Capitol to stop lawmakers from certifying the 2020 election results and his loss to Joe Biden. 5 people died and 140 police officers were hurt, though a top prosecutor believes the number of wounded officers is likely higher. More than 1,200 people have been arrested and charged with misdemeanors and felonies ranging from trespassing to seditious conspiracy. The U.S. Air Force says a B-1 Lancer bomber crashed yesterday at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. Military leaders said in a statement the crash occurred, quote, while attempting to land on the installation and that it was on a training mission, unquote, at the time. All 4 crew members on board were able to eject safely. While the crash is still under investigation, reports say visibility at the time was poor with freezing temperatures and low cloud cover. Back in Texas, a viral video posted online led police in Montgomery County to take over 30 dogs to an animal shelter. The video showed a pack of dogs herding a puppy at a home. The homeowners agreed to surrender a total of 37 dogs, including 14 puppies, to the Houston SPCA. Montgomery County has no laws to regulate how many dogs someone can own. Several dogs are under treatment for being underfed, having anemia, and other medical conditions. The DA is investigating to see if this is a case of animal cruelty or hoarding. For more on today's top stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. The daughter who killed her own mother is now out of prison and speaking out about her experience. That's straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. Also ahead, snow and rain hit parts of the Lone Star State Thursday night into this morning. Gypsy Rose is finally experiencing freedom. The 32-year-old left a Missouri prison after serving 8.5 years for helping to kill her abusive mother. She was a victim of abuse. Her mother made her believe she suffered from several illnesses, including leukemia, muscular problems, and asthma. She said her mother put her through surgeries she actually didn't even need and isolated her from the world. Gypsy believes she would still be experiencing abuse if her mother was alive today.
I would tell her that I'm sorry and I forgive her. I'm coming to a place of forgiveness. It's going to take time. I would say that I understand, like I see her. I see her in the way that she was not an evil woman. She was not a monster. She was just a sick woman and she would have needed a lot of mental health care. I see her for who she is now, or who she was.
Gypsy Rose is keeping busy with her newfound freedom. A new Lifetime docuseries is being released about her story, and her book, called Release Conversations on the Eve of Freedom, is set to be released Tuesday. Now, the Florida woman accused of shooting and killing her neighbor last summer wants to speed up her trial. A hearing was held in court Thursday because Susan Lortzen wrote a letter to the judge wanting to exercise her right to a speedy trial. However, the judge said her request was invalid because she didn't go through her attorney to file a formal motion. Now she wants to hurry the process because she is not getting proper care in jail. She's in jail for fatally shooting and killing A.J. Owens during an argument about where Owens' kids were playing in her front yard. U.S. News and World Reports has released its yearly best diet of the year, and the winner is once again the Mediterranean diet.
For the 7th year in a row, the Mediterranean style of eating earned the title of Best Overall Diet by the U.S. News and World Report.
The Mediterranean diet really is one of the very, very best. And the reason is because it's so clinically proven to have positive health outcomes.
Registered dietitian Julia Zumpano with Cleveland Clinic says this style of eating can help reduce inflammation and may help prevent or even reverse certain diseases. The Mediterranean diet is focused on whole foods like whole grains, fresh fruits and veggies, legumes and lentils, extra virgin olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds. Fish high in omega-3 fatty acids is also encouraged, while poultry and egg whites are eaten in much smaller portions than the traditional Western diet. For this way of eating, say no to processed foods.
Lastly, we really limit things like dairy. So can have a little bit of cheese on the Mediterranean diet, but it's really just kind of a dusting, just to add some flavor, but not the foundation of a meal. And it shouldn't really be consumed every day.
Zumpano says it's important to have proper serving sizes and to have a balance of each element on your plate, not too much of one or the other. And if you drink, consume only red wine in moderation.
No alcohol is better than any alcohol. We have found to be true when it comes to health outcomes. But if you are going to drink, really stick to that red wine.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Heavy rain has caused widespread flooding in parts of southeast Texas today. This was the scene on Galveston Island this morning. Residents and commuters made their way through floodwaters as the rain continued to fall. 3 to 4 inches had fallen before the line of storms finally pushed east out of that area. Locals said the flooding is typical on the island, specifically when it rains hard for a short period of time. Now, meanwhile, in the Panhandle, a winter weather advisory has been put in place as winter conditions moved in. Snow fell as a low pressure system traveled from New Mexico into West Texas. Cities like Amarillo are likely to see 2 inches of snow, while other counties are expecting up to 6 inches of snow. Officials advise residents in affected areas to, of course, exercise caution and stay updated on weather developments as the system progresses. But of course, we have meteorologist Mac Perez, who is the expert on this.
Thank you very much. Well, that storm is the one that came through our area. Obviously, we didn't have those effects, But we have been talking about them and expecting them for the last couple of days. Right about now, we're at 67 degrees. After a frontal system, it's warmer. Yeah, because we got all that sunshine today and that dry air. We managed to get up to 68. That was our high temperature, and that's not usually what happens after a frontal system. How much rain did we get? That's the best question of all, and we'll be answering that and taking a look at your weekend coming up in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Here's the good numbers that we got last night. I don't know, it didn't seem that heavy, but it did come down. We got some really great totals out at Riverside Park. We got 1.83 thanks to Coco Ross. Airport got only 8400ths, not that far away, and yet an inch less. Placido got 2 inches, and this is great stuff. Port O'Connor 116, Ganado got 170, and look at that. It was a blessing in blessing, because they got almost 3 inches of rain. So that is perfect, because you know why? It came in at night and it left in the morning. It didn't mess up your day too much. Now we're waiting for a good looking weekend and then the next system to come in. As you can see, the cloud deck really cleared up, but it was far, much heavier up in the Houston area and over to Galveston, as you saw right about there. We are now looking at the big picture, and you can see how skies are going to be clear over our area for a couple of days, 2 days exactly. And then we watch and wait for that next frontal system to roll in. Here's another view of the rainfall total. Now here's Victoria. You see it right about there. And so in the green, we're up to 1 inch, okay? And when we see blue, dark blue, that means over 1 inch. So over 1 inch right about most of the city, and of course the heaviest stuff down here along the Calhoun County area, and there's that almost 3 inches in Blessing. You see it right about there. So yeah, came out real good. Now we take a look at the rest of the state and the rest of the areas, and we watch and wait for let's see, Monday is our next system. Temperatures, again, you're thinking, okay, we got a cool front. Why is it not cooler? Well, because we had a west wind, which is a dry front really, and then it's not cooler because we got brilliant sunshine all day long. So we did get up into the upper 60s today, although folks up in Amarillo are barely in the 30s because they got the snow that we've been talking about for a couple of days. If you're wondering, winter is fairly close by, but it's just not here, okay? You'll notice in the blue here is below freezing. So everybody, pretty much the northern 2/3 of the country is at or below freezing, which is about where they should be. Now, let's take a look at where all this is going. Here's our low, and there's our front, and that's going away. And we get to Saturday, we've got some real nice sunshine over the area as high pressure builds in. We go all the way into Sunday, and we're still doing good with high pressure keeping us on the sunny side of things. And then as we get into Sunday night, you can see how the cloud stack starts rolling over there. On Monday, that will actually arrive here, and that'll be our next rainmaker, but it will hold off until Monday, so that's the good news. In fact, it might be late on Monday. Lots of, on social media, they put all kinds of stories out there, and they're calling Snowmageddon, and it's going to be a big snowstorm, and the east is going to be buried by a nor'easter. It's just clickbait, these big headlines. But here are the parts of the country that are under snow advisories. Of course, that's the upper Appalachian, so they're bound to have some snow, but it looks like the Northeast will be getting some snow, and these are winter storm advisories that will go all the way through Monday in case you've got family out there. As far as we're concerned, well, there's snow on the ground in Amarillo, but that's about it. Overnight lows getting down to the 50s tonight, and then tomorrow we'll get up into the mid-60s again. Now, the big question is what happens beyond this for next week. All right, here's what we've got for Port Lavaca: 65 tomorrow with sunshine, and then in Cuero we're looking at 66 with sunshine. 7-day forecast will show you good looking weather for Saturday and Sunday, rain showers on Monday, and then a little cooler. In fact, some nighttime temperatures will be getting down into the upper 30s around the crossroads. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. That's quick response. That's you scan that with your phone, take a picture of it, and it'll go on your phone and put Crossroads Today right there. Karina, over to you.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, the U.S. economy added over 200,000 jobs just last month. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 26 points, the S&P 500 up 9 points, and the Nasdaq up 14 points. Oil up $1.69, closing at $73.88 a barrel. A new jobs report beat economist expectations. Today, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported the U.S. economy added 216,000 jobs in December, 56,000 jobs more than predicted. This brings the nationwide unemployment rate to 3.7%. Government, health care, social assistance, and construction sectors saw an increase in jobs. Meanwhile, transportation and warehousing jobs saw a loss in jobs. Seasonally adjusted data showed the U.S. gained more than 2.7 million jobs in 2023. 1.6 million Teslas in China are under a recall to fix problems with its autopilot driver assistance system and reduce the risk of crashes. It covers imported Models S, Model X, and Model 3 sedans and Chinese-made Model 3 sedans and Model Y SUVs over nearly a 10-year period. These vehicles, drivers might misuse the autopilot functions, increase the risk of crashing. A second recall covers more than 7,500 imported Model S sedans and Model X SUVs made from late 2022 to late 2023. This is due to the risk of door openings during a crash. Now stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast with Mac. Plus, researchers recently discovered the true color of two planets, and it might be more similar than we previously thought. Plus, here's a look at what's coming up on World News Tonight right after 25 News Now at 5.
Coming up tonight, we have breaking news, the extraordinary signal just in from the Supreme Court involving Donald Trump. Also, you'll see the planes landing in massive smoke, this fire burning near Newark Airport, the major winter storm set to blast the east, and the actor and his children killed in a plane crash. Next.
Experience our streaming service Crossroads Today Plus, stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Now, we may have the true colors of Uranus and Neptune. A group of researchers used 2 different telescopes, including this new one, to capture new data. Then they applied that data to the original 2 images. The corrected images showed Neptune and Uranus have a similar greenish blue hue. Over 30 years ago, NASA's mission flew by the planets, capturing the first close-up of these images. At that time, Uranus appeared to have a pale color, while Neptune had a deep blue color. And now this is what we have now. They're much more paler than I guess we thought.
It's amazing that we
Or-
can even see that far.
backwards,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, how did they know the colors before? Because they were in my science book, and they had all kinds of color on them. Now they go, oh, that wasn't the color after all.
So this is what we thought they used to look like, that pale color, and then now they're much,
It's a much
there it is,
greener,
much more
very-
brighter.
Very interesting.
The universe is so colorful.
Yeah, the thing is, can you actually land there? You know, that's
Oh, maybe not in our lifetime.
not at all. And those are billions of years from here.
Yeah. We're watching
Amazing
too much
stuff.
Star Wars here.
Well, folks, we're going to have a good looking weekend. The rain is gone. We are looking at sunny skies for Saturday and Sunday. That 20% is for late Sunday night. But the main event will be on Monday when the next frontal system comes through and gives us some more rain. Looks like it's going to be a little chillier for next week.
Alrighty, thank you, Mac, and thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.